to the MMA Roadshow, episode number 111. My name is John Morgan. Cold Coffee is with me in Dallas, Texas.
What up?
My hometown.
Yes, good town.
It is a good town. And special guest Fiasco Jones is back in the building as well.
Wahoo! I added that little flourish at the end.
Right.
Fucking hate you.
Wow.
It's so loud, and I knew it, and I forgot all about it.
I
knew it
was looking right at you. I was like, you know it's coming. All right, whatever.
Volume down.
I know. I just turned it down. That's what I get for trying to multitask. I was like, I'm gonna fix the WordPress site while we're all doing this intro.
Post-production, my friend. Post-production.
Yeah, exactly. Do some levels.
You can't fix that. When it's peaked out, you can't fix that.
Oh, man. All right, we are in town for UFC 211, Miocic versus Dos Santos 2. A sick card, man. I mean, dude, this is, obviously the UFC has to market the way they market and sell things the way they sell. They got a product to sell. But, when every preview says this is the best card of the year so far, there's no lie, man. This card is stacked.
Yeah, this card's sick. Top to bottom.
Top to bottom. I will say I was having
maybe
a
not
conversation.
the very bottom.
Not the very top to like the knees.
Yeah.
It's stacked. Now, it's funny. I was talking actually to some UFC folks earlier tonight. The one thing I am interested to see, not that I'm a big follower of the business side. Like I want to know what the ratings are. I want to know what the pay-per-views. I'm more just into covering the sport and the fighters and that sort of thing. But it will be interesting to see how this does on pay-per-view, because it is a loaded card. There's a ton of good fights, but it doesn't have that one. I mean, certainly Conor, Ronda, they're in an echelon of their own. Brock, obviously 2 of the 3 of those are probably done, but those are on. I mean, you can't really count them. But you've got other people that kind of sell pretty well, and I don't feel like anybody on here necessarily sells particularly well, so it might be a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah,
but it's a damn good card.
It really is, and I was just thinking about that. Masvidal did his part. He tried to talk a little bit, but if you don't have the other half chiming in as well, you're not going to get too much coming there.
Right.
But you're right. And then now all those Henry Cejudo fans that wanted to watch that fight, they maybe won their money back.
Sucks to lose
but
that one.
Yeah, that one I was looking forward to. But you're right. There's not a lot of heat from any of these fights. I mean, not saying that they're not good, but
they're phenomenal.
You're not getting that angle where somebody's like, "Oh, this person really hates that person. I just want to see them knock them out."
So weird that that's what we need, right? Junior and Stipe are 2 of the nicest dudes ever.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's awesome. You're like, man, good for both those guys. I love them both. I'm so excited.
Can no one lose? Can no one lose in this fight?
Let's have a draw.
Well, think about it. Say you have your favorite pizza that you love, but you always put that hot sauce on it, that you always eat it, and if you don't have that hot sauce on it, which that's my analogy for all the shit talking.
Okay, got it.
You'll have that. You'll have your pizza, and you're like,
Thanks
oh,
for
it's
spelling
good.
it out for me. I appreciate it.
I had to lay it out there.
Idiots.
You have that pizza. It just doesn't taste the same. You still enjoy it, and you're like, oh, it was really, really good, but something was missing. Something was missing. And I think right now we're so used to every fight, there's some element, there's some aspect of somebody that doesn't like somebody to the point of where they just ratchet up all the crap talking.
It's
and we're
weird,
not getting
right?
it this
It's
one.
weird, right? Because we all like the sport, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't obviously.
No,
Fiasco,
fuck
but you
it,
don't. But we all like the sport for what it is. But it is weird, like you said. It is as ridiculous as your analogy is.
Pizza without the hot sauce.
It is the pizza without the hot sauce. I mean, you can appreciate the skill of it, but that hot sauce does add a little something.
Here's the thing, though. Continuing with this absurd analogy, there's some people that actually just like a pepperoni and cheese, just as it is, and I think those are the core fans with this, which is this card caters to. The
Right.
people who give a shit about this sport see this for what it is, and they see this as that. This is I do love. Yeah, are they shit talking? No, but they love the fact that these are the matches they wanted to see. They know they can recognize this is a great fucking card.
It is, and you're right. And I'd rather go this route than somebody manufacture something.
Yeah,
it was
right,
funny
yeah.
during the open workouts today. I was like, Junior, I was like, you're not really a trash talking kind of guy. I was like, but if you were forced to talk trash, what would you say? He was like, okay, hold on. He's kind of laughed a little bit, and he was like, all right, hold on. He's ugly. And he was like, I don't know what to say. And it was like, yeah, you're not very good at this at all.
Obviously, you would hit him at the Ohio connection.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's shameful.
It's a beautiful state.
Shameful.
What? No, let's see. Your input 3. What? Say something again.
Uh-oh, don't attack the producer. Don't attack the
Oh,
producer.
man. All right, we'll get into the card in a second. I do want to say, so first of all, I did mention my hometown. It's awesome to be back in Dallas. I got to say, Cold Coffee killed it. I'm actually staying – tonight I'm crashing here, but I've been staying with my family while I'm in town because, I don't get to see them very often. Cold Coffee did the Airbnb route. Bro, you nailed it up in here. We're in your place now. You got a loft on the edge of Deep Ellum, which is a cool-ass little neighborhood. It's alive and vibrant again, a little downtown area. It kind of died off for a while. I grew up here, and I used to go see music there all the time when I was a teenager. And then it kind of died off for a while, and it's coming back. And cool bars and restaurants, and you're like right on the edge of that. Super close to the host hotel, super close to everywhere.
Close to all the events.
And this place for like $100 a night, dude.
Yeah.
It looks like a hipster vomited all over it. Every wall has some kind of like.
It's eco-friendly.
Yeah,
vomit.
yeah. The ceiling has dirt sprayed onto it that I'm pretty sure is falling into our mouths. It has umbrellas just for decoration hanging from the pipes.
Okay, now in fairness, this used to be a photo studio, so I think those were like
Purposeful?
diffusing type
no,
umbrellas,
no,
right?
No, because you can see there's a hook. That's the handle. You don't
So
use
it's not
that.
actually a diffuser.
And you also
it's just
don't
an
use
umbrella.
a red umbrella to diffuse light in a photo situation.
All right, so
But it
Fiasco
makes you
not
wonder
quite
what
as
those
excited.
pipes. Yeah, what hung down from the pipes because it's the same one that runs the fire.
It's just a fire
emergency
hazard,
thing.
Kenny. This is just literally some hipster's idea of like, well, that pipe needs something. Let's put some umbrellas on it.
But regardless, the pictures look great. There's lots of artwork on there. There's books. They're like they encourage you to read the books. They're like, do it, make it your own. But they're like, if you stay more than 3 days, can you water the plants? Nobody's ever asked to water plants. I actually watered
Really?
the plants this morning.
It's called guilt.
But it's like, don't touch the crystals. Those are very special to me. There's like
'Cause they
different
have powers.
crystals.
They have powers.
Energies, y'all. Energies.
That's-
Wait. You
that's
said don't touch the
conspiracy corner
crystals.
shit.
You don't mean like crystal glassware? You mean like actual
No.
crystals?
Like even look on like the jug. There's like a crystal inside with a plant. And I think there's other crystals around.
That's technically a
Don't
crystal,
touch
yeah.
it.
You don't want to touch
You
it. It has
know.
powers. It's just little.
But I got really like the pictures didn't do it justice how big this place is for the money and stuff. So it's
Dope.
been
nice.
fun. Like last night, we had like 7 different journalists that came in here and hung out. So that was kind of cool. And we never
In
normally
a place
get
it's
together.
$100 a night. You can't do that in
Yeah.
a hotel room. 7 people.
Yeah.
I will say it's pretty big.
It is.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I was waiting for that. It was funny. I was actually talking to UFC matchmaker Mick Maynard earlier today. He's coming out to Vegas during the summertime. He's renting a place for a couple of weeks, and he used Airbnb for the first time. It was
Nice.
actually he didn't even know. He was like, somebody told me about this B&B. Well, he's Australian, so that was not really a good Mick Maynard at all. But
G'day, John.
Oi!
I did Airbnb.
he called it just B&B. He was like, I did that B&B
It's a
thing.
B&B.
Yeah, he did good. So, all right, good stuff. Listen, I actually drove out here this time. I did not fly. I drove out here.
No shit.
1,225 miles. I did it in 18 and a half hours. Pretty proud of myself. It was myself, my wife, my kid, my dog. Could have been a lot faster, except my dog, Boo, our new dog, the new addition to the family, started puking before we even got out of Vegas. Like, I guess has never been in a car before. It's a rescue dog.
Yeah.
I don't know if it just has never taken a trip or what the hell is going on, but started puking before we even got through Henderson.
Poor dog.
Setting the tone for a difficult journey.
You rescued him only to torture him for an 18-hour ride.
All right. Yeah, he's been in the family for like a month. He's like, what the hell? He's like a day in the car.
Send
you
me back to the
jerk.
kennel.
I'll tell you what else is funny. So I have a small. Well, I have a Kia Soul, which is not like the biggest car ever. We can kind of fit in it, but now that Eli's getting bigger and now that we have the dog, I was like, I mean, bottom line is I can charge Gannett for it. Like they're covering our travel, you know what I mean? So I'm not paying a plane ticket. And I'm not paying for a hotel. So I was like, well, I'll rent a car. I don't have to put the mileage on my car. Big thing to me was I wanted to make sure that so we rented a van, and I wanted to make or a minivan, I should say. And I wanted to make sure it had satellite radio. You know what I mean? Because dude, a long road trip, searching for radio stations, that sucks.
Why not Spotify? I mean,
Oh, I didn't know you could. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, just. Are you listening to podcasts though?
Sometimes, yes, some podcasts, and then I do Howard Stern. I listen to a lot of Stern.
But what's the Spotify on your phone? It's like, don't you have to pay for it on your phone?
Well, yeah, you would. I mean, if you had a premium account, like you
Who has a
just-
you
premium
just
account on Spotify?
Stream that and run
Yeah,
it into your
you-
car or
yeah,
whatever.
Do you pay for it? Do you
Yeah.
pay for Spotify?
I don't even have Spotify.
But here's the catch. Here's the catch. Here's the free.
There's
Hey, Spotify, you listening? If you pay for the premium, you can actually download all your songs and playlists to your phone.
So you have it offline.
And so like when you hit those like dry spots where there's no
You
Wi-Fi.
can do that with Amazon Prime. You can download a bunch of.
Amazon Prime has
that.
garbage music selection. Spotify is the way to go.
It's got some music, maybe not your music, which
Amazon
is
has
technically garbage to start
some
with.
music, meaning not all the music, which Spotify has.
No death metal.
Well, I can tell you right now that they have all of Seaweed's albums except for one, which is really all you need during a long road trip.
Just load up your Seaweed and
Seaweed,
good to
yes, beautiful Seattle product, kind of a punkish sounding band, and now defunct.
I'm sure my family would just love me to
Some
load up the
Seaweed.
Seaweed.
Wow, yes, Eli would definitely love Seaweed. In fact, you should start getting used to this kind of music because this is what Eli's going to be listening to very shortly. He's going to go back to the origins of great music and start listening to Quicksand and Seaweed and maybe some Fugazi.
God, I can't wait to hear what my kid listens to. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
So listen, I found. I kind of feel guilty about this. I don't know why. I mean, it's a van I'm paying for. But there were like 4 minivans there, and I literally got in each one of them to make sure the radio was not only did it have satellite radio, but that the subscription was up. Because they never pay for the subscription on there. Like they use like the free year, and then that's it. So I found a van that literally only had 2,900 miles on it, and I took that one, and I feel so bad because like I'm literally gonna put like 3,000 miles on it like this week alone, and like bring it back with double the mileage. Like, hey, sorry, I took your brand new van and drove it across the country.
They sell them so quick anyway, so I'm sure they're just gonna be like, well, I guess we got to sell this one sooner.
Got 6,000 miles done.
Yeah.
Got the money out of it.
It's been a pretty cool week, though. I gotta say, I've got to see my mom, my dad, and
That was cool.
my kids' 5th birthday is Friday, May the 12th. So obviously we're sitting down recording this the way we always do on Thursday night. By the time you listen to it, it'll be my son's 5th birthday, which Jesus
Congratulations.
Christ time
Crazy.
passes by,
I
and
appreciate that.
man, yeah. So it's been cool. I will say I did hear that the event itself, UFC 211, is sold out. Pretty much sold out. So even if it doesn't do good at the pay-per-view numbers, I think it's gonna do good pay-per-view. I don't think it's gonna do like, strong like million buy. Even
Yeah.
But it
How
sounds like
big's
it's
the
sold
arena?
out. You can see
gonna be
about
like-
16,000.
So maybe $1 million at the door.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's a pay-per-view, so they will. All right, let's see. I guess just say you. I drove in. You took the red eye in.
I did.
It seems like it was
brutal.
such a short period of time. Ultimate Media Day was Wednesday. 14 fighters at the Ultimate Media Day, which just goes to show you how stacked this card is when you bring 14 fighters. But I will say, man, 14 fighters, and we had like less than an hour to get to them all. Like that's.
Yeah, it's
That's
probably some of the
hard, man.
most fighters that they've ever had, and they had the least amount of time they've ever
It's
given
such
us.
a difficult balance for the UFC because I know exactly what they're thinking, right? Like they're booking this and they want to make all these fighters available, but they also don't want the fighters to be like sitting there with nothing to do because that's awkward and uncomfortable. You know what I mean? But like, I know we're weirdos that we want to get to everybody, but 14 people in like an hour.
Now, I was stuck in the studio shooting our top 10 TV show,
Garbage.
so I wasn't able to go to the media day. Was it like 14
Simultaneously.
Okay, wow.
At the house. They had 2 different sides, so you had all the opponents on. Blue side was over here, red was opposite of them, except for the main event, which was literally like 4 feet apart.
That's pretty funny
So
when they always
everything they could say, like literally the
do that.
opponents.
Because they always
hearing.
do that, but it's like it was like a tiny little
It was
stage,
like
so they were
tiny
literally
stage,
just.
so they were even closer than they normally would. It was,
I don't want him to
but-
hear this, but he's a
but
piece of shit.
this was the 2 perfect people to be able to do it
Fortunately,
too.
yeah. Look, I
Yeah.
like the guy. I mean, he's handsome. He's
Yeah, he's like,
you know.
oh, look at him. Look at that shirt he's wearing. You can just reach over and tug on it, It was crazy because the amount of time and the media turnout was decent. It was
Yeah,
like
it was
very
strong.
very good. So
Strong.
it wasn't. It'd be one thing if it was just say me and John and the room's empty. We're gonna have a hard time getting around all 14 by ourselves. But put in a bunch of other media guys, and at that point we knew it was an impossible task. So then you have to start thinking, well, who can we get to? Who we're gonna have the next day? Because it was interesting where. Normally, you'll have some of a lot of people working the media event or going, as talent or whatever at the media event, but then they're going to the open workout, so we can say, all right, well, we'll maybe see them tomorrow. But 10 of the guys that were at the media day weren't going to be at the open workout, so that's the only time that they set up for you to even see these people. And I think they either go in intending that everybody's not us, where they're weird and just going to try to get everybody. So they're like, well, we can check mark the box that says we made them available, and then we can wash our hands of it. You know what? But unfortunately for media that's there, we immediately were like, all right, you're making them available. It's our job to get them, to shoot them, to put them out there. But if you'd only give us 45 minutes, it's almost impossible. And, you know, it's like we're willing to interview them, but give us the time. You know, for that many people, it should have been at least an hour and a half, a 2-hour block where people could have had, like, decent interviews. What was nice enough is that most of the time, even though these are typical scrum interviews, everybody was kind of getting their little one-on-ones. You know, we'd come line up and we'd kind of get behind. So then there's a little bit of a queue, because the last thing you want to do is have an interview going on. You want to come up and give a scrum, and then you ask a question that was just asked 3 questions ago. You know, one, it's just it's you kill
tough.
The flow of an interview.
Tough. Like, everybody wants to kind of have their one-on-one time.
Right.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, you're right. Like, we're literally all just walking up and asking the same questions over and over. Like, I wish people would understand, like, just scrum, dude. It's cool.
Right.
It's cool.
And there does need to be a little more policing of that. As like when they start seeing these like lines queuing up, that it's like, no. You gotta. I could understand for some major outlets like you guys, and maybe some other unnamed outlets, that you may give a little extra, like if you need a one-on-one, but that has to be cleared in advance.
Right.
But it should be, you know, people should be like, no, guys, no, there's no lines. We have an hour. Just go.
Yeah. And I honestly think, you know, you think about like the backstage interviews with winners. I mean, not that, you know, we're all not great interviewers and whatever else, but honestly, I think at the end of the day, like the product you get ends up being better when you have like you're basically crowdsourcing questions. You know,
right?
what I mean?
Right.
Kind of,
because you're flowing together. I mean, like, you know, I don't need to ask how you feel right now, because it just got asked here. You know, I can start asking strategy. I can ask this, you know, and everybody just kind of plays off, you know, and just a bunch of follow-up questions. And you're right. It goes quicker. You're not, you know, like most of us, we're not going to be on the camera anyways. So it's not like I need to be on there and say, hey guys, blah, 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 and waste 30 seconds with an intro and stroking my ego. We just get to the point of it, you know. So
a little behind the scenes on
I will say, though,
how
like,
we think it should work.
A little more inside baseball is that the one catch in a production level is your positioning.
Yeah.
If you get that poor positioning,
That's true.
you're kind of effed, and you
Well,
definitely.
that's why MMA Junkie gets there first.
Well, you know what? Since we're talking about, I'm going to talk about some other things and say, but since you bring up positioning,
oh, here we go.
Can we talk about what happened today at Media Day? Today, or not Media Day, Open Workouts, I should say.
Yeah.
So, Open Workouts were today, and I got to say, number one, amazing crowd. We showed up. The doors opened at 11. We showed up at 10 just because we wanted to make sure we had, like, a place to park. We actually had, like, a little video shoot we wanted to do ahead of time. We're starting to do, like a daily kind of just
set up for the day, like a daily
social
calendar sort of.
Yeah, kind of like a social.
With mainly being a social output.
You know, put on Twitter, put on Facebook, like, hey, by the way, don't forget, you know, we're in Dallas. It's Open Workouts today. You're going to hear from these people, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, easy.
Yeah.
So we want to do that. We got there at 10 o'clock, man. There was a line around the door of the gym of fans to get to the Open Workouts, which was awesome to
Dallas
see, man.
showed up, and it was neat because later on, and go back to the story, but later on we went to the second workout. One of the women that I saw at the first one, she made it a point to say that Dallas was trying to represent. They're like, it's been a while since we've been here, so we want to have a good showing. We want them to keep coming back. And if in the sheer terms of the turnouts at the events that were made public, Dallas showed up.
Dude,
so I'm looking forward to what the weigh-in.
Looking
forward to it.
I'm telling you, I mean, of all the events we go to, seriously, this is one of them, and not just because it's my main, you know, my hometown or whatever, but like literally, it was one of the loudest crowds, the biggest crowds, the most, like, that we've seen at any open workout in recent memory. It was solid.
Well, they had it helps that they had solid fighters as well.
Yeah.
But every person that came in had a warm reception, a loud reception. The crowd was interacting them.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I love it when they start chirping back and forth. And the fighters were receptive. You know, somebody was yelling, OH for Stipe. He was giving them the call back, IO. You know, people were, even when Jessica showed up, right from the get-go, people were very receptive. You know,
Joanna, what about
you could tell people loved her.
Joanna, the star around Joanna is growing, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
growing.
Awesome.
But it was good because they even gave her opponent love as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, they definitely showed themselves to be, like, a respectful engaged crowd. I mean, like I think a lot of cities, if they can mirror like what Dallas has been doing,
Strong.
it's
It
gonna
was
be
strong.
it'd be a good effort.
And I gotta say, it was so cool, man. Junior Dos Santos actually pulled my son out of my son was there at the crowd. Pulled my son out of the crowd.
Yeah.
Like kind of boxed them a little bit. Played
That's
fun with them.
awesome.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
it was amazing, man. It was the
Yeah, he
coolest
was like
thing.
front and center. Put his gloves on him and
If
stuff.
Eli doesn't grow up to love MMA, something's.
I know, right? Like if he's like, man, I think MMA sucks. I'm just like, well,
You know what? I really like
He's
soccer.
going to be an actor. He's
Soccer.
going to be an actor. I'm going to get him into theater and teach him jazz
All right,
hands.
so let's talk about positioning, right? So we get to Moeller MMA, which is a local team here, local gym. It's been around for a long time. It's a good, well-known, established gym. So we get there. We go set up inside. You know, Cold Coffee is going to be shooting the workouts. I'm going to be shooting the scrums. That's how we normally do it.
Right.
So we go to set up at the scrums. Now, it's a smaller gym. I mean, I shouldn't say it's a smaller gym. It's a big gym, but it's still a gym. You know, it's not like we're in a performance center or whatever, right? So we're kind of in this little area. We're tucked in a corner, and it gets a little crowded over there, right? But, you know, Cold Coffee and I were first. We set up front and center the way we do. You know, I
Yeah.
had my thing right here. Put the mic stand right there that we provide for everybody,
Right.
you know, to make their lives easier. Good setup. We do the first scrum with Jessica Andrade, but it's crowded over there. It's definitely crowded. We're
Media
kind of in a little corner.
they kept showing up. Even by the time that everybody was set up, more media was coming because it took them a while. There were so many people at the door. A lot of media. There wasn't a separate media entrance, so they're getting queued up with everybody else that's queued up to try to get inside an already over full gym.
What's the estimated head count you're talking about?
There was at least 200 and some probably.
Total people, yeah, not
oh,
just
but
media.
like
yeah.
but like media. When you're talking about this media crowding up,
There
like,
was a lot of media.
Had to be 40 or 50.
40 to 50.
Whoa!
Counting photogs
Yeah,
and video.
it was strong. So
Yeah.
we're all kind of packed in this little area, but we get it done with Jessica Andrade. We make it happen, right? But afterwards, I guess, well, first of all, it's kind of funny. Our buddy Adam Hill was texting a buddy of his back at UFC HQ, basically just talking shit, but kind of playful with him. But his buddy actually called like the rest of the PR crew that was on the ground.
Threw him
and was
under
like,
the bus.
Yeah, threw him under the bus. He's like, hey, Adam just called me, and he said it's a jacked up setup. You guys really need to fix something. It was like,
Oh.
yeah. Hilarious. Yeah, so that was kind of funny. But so they did. I guess they reacted. They're like, all right, well, this is kind of, screwed up. So they said, well, we'll relocate. Actually, we're going to move the scrums into, there was like a little mini octagon, like a mini cage, right? But
Okay.
it was a bigger space than where we were. They're like, we'll move them into there. Cool, right? So everybody starts to relocate. Well, local news guy who wasn't even in the scrums to begin with puts his camera
who
front
was
and
stuck
center.
at the back because he was too lazy to get over there and didn't know what was going on, which is understandable. You're local news. You don't work the circuit. So he's in the back. So obviously when they make a move, he's already halfway there.
So
Yeah.
everybody's already scrambling to move, and I'm like, well, there's no reason for me to scramble. Like, everybody knows where everybody was.
Right.
Everybody knows I was here front and center. And not only that, a lot of people left their microphones on the mic stand, and I needed to move the mic stand. So I was like, you know what? What I'll do is I'll just I'll disconnect the wires or whatever, because I can't carry all these wires.
Right.
But I'll disconnect the wires, and I'll carry the mic stand with these microphones that are still here, because some cameras were still in position. I was like, I'll move this over. I'll set that there. And so I get over there, and the scrum is now reset, and it's packed, right? And this dude is front and center in my spot. Local news guy is right there. At this point, Pam does make an appearance. That's passive-aggressive Morgan. Does make a little bit of appearance. And I'm like, say, man, and I did try to be polite at first. I'm
Right,
like, say, man, you mind if I just squeeze right in between you, like, knowing you have no damn business being there, but I'm like, you mind if I just squeeze in between you and Dave Mandel there from Sherdog? You mind if I just squeeze right there? And he's like, man, but I'm gonna be standing right here. There's not gonna be any room. I'm like, no, man, I'll turn sideways. I was like, just let me get my gear in there. Like, we'll be fine. Let me just get it right in there. He's like, I don't know. I'm like, so you're not gonna let me in? And he's like, no. I'm like,
Ooh.
we moved. I was sitting front center. I got here before anybody. I sit in front center. They moved the location. I'm like, and you're not gonna let me back into the position that I had. He's like, once they said move, I moved, and I was here first. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? I'm like, that is ridiculous. That is fucking ridiculous. I'm like, but you know what, bro? As long as you feel good about yourself, man, we'll just do it. I'll find something. I'll figure out another way. Like, as long as you feel good about yourself, being a dick right now, then hey, man, do your thing, bro. Do your thing. I'll find something else. And at that point, fortunately, I would say Dave Mandel, Casey from MMA Fighting, Luke Thomas, actually, they were all very nice about, hey, you know what? We can move this. We'll, come on, John. Come on, do this. They were awesome. They were great. But this dude was an absolute dick.
Describe him. Was he just a photog or was it an actual reporter?
He was a Fox 4 photog. I'm looking on their sports page, and I don't see one fucking UFC clip at all. Like, what did you do? Why were you there? Except to fucking get a paycheck and say that you were there. I'll remember him. And I wonder if he's going to come out even fight night or something.
And it was funny because I heard people. In fact, I think it was Heidi Fang was telling me earlier that like that guy started talking about it like later in the day, and he was like, I don't care who that guy is. I'm like, it's not about who I am. I didn't pull the bro. Do you know who I am card? It's not that. It's that like I was there already. We moved. Can't we just rebuild the same way? Like, isn't that common sense? Like, that's
in the dog-eat-dog world we live in. He was at the back, remember him? And so he's like, no, I found a way. Yeah, he's still a dick, still a huge dick, but
dick move. Luckily, our crew, the traveling road show that is this MMA circus, set it up for me. So, all right, listen, I did want to talk to you real quick. We lost the one fight you mentioned, Kokavi. We lost Henry Cejudo versus Sergio Pettis. Bummed about that, man. Super bummed about that because that was a great fight. Fortunately, this card's so deep, it doesn't really matter. Fiasco, I don't know if you have any insight or anything that happened. I did see it was kind of a weird situation because he came to the media day. Everything was good. He did the interviews. I'm imagining he was probably taping stuff with you guys and everything, and then all of a sudden – he's just off the card, and I did see some people kind of talking some trash, but I will say he's already gone. Actually, I was gonna ask him if he wanted to like come over and sit down and like obviously maybe have a cold beer, he got to fight,
right,
and talk about it. But I talked to his team, and he actually he went home. He was obviously very upset and pissed off, and so he was like, "Nah, dude, I'm out." But I did see some video that his team may or may not release. I told him if they do, we'll be happy to put it out for him. But of him basically over the last week or so, dealing with some medical stuff and like literally like in excruciating pain as they were like trying to work with his hand. I mean, rough stuff. So if I did see, I know there's some people that don't like Henry and kind of just took it as a chance to bash him, but from what I saw, it was a pretty legitimate deal. He was going to try to fight through it, but essentially wanted to get a cortisone shot to kind of get through the pain. And the UFC said, well, hold on. If we're going to give you a cortisone shot, you got to get it checked out. And then the doctors at that were like, bro, you can't fight.
No, I've actually heard it's a legitimate injury, and I can't really comment on anything else. But, yeah, it's a legitimate injury, and we were surprised as everyone else. He actually didn't make his interviews.
Really?
Yeah.
He was supposed to do them that afternoon?
He was supposed to do that afternoon, and it's like, the fight's canceled. But
I heard he didn't want to fight just because he didn't want to do your interview.
He was scared of the interview.
Fabricated this injury.
He literally,
he was like, fuck Fiasco.
He's like, he doesn't want to see my face because he knows that this face right here can get the best answers.
You do have that way. You just have a way.
I just
can't
pull
face the truth.
Yeah, I pull the answers out of people, and he's like, I can't do it.
He's like,
I
stand
about
no
my
chance.
taxes or something. I don't know. So he
Can't blame him.
He definitely bailed on that because of me, and I apologize to everyone that wanted to see that fight because it's my fault. It's really just my fault.
You're a terrible person.
You don't want to sit in the chair, man. It's tough.
Under the hot lights, with my face behind those two gleaming black eyes staring at you, snake eyes, you just have to tell me everything I ask you.
Have to go from Fiasco Jones to Snake Eyes Jones. Snake Eyes Jones.
What would you call that in Spanish? What would be his nickname?
Ojos de Snakey. I don't know what snake is.
Spanish.
I don't know.
Like Serpentina.
Yes, I was thinking like some totally cool one, not that one.
Snakey. Ojos de Snakey.
I'm sorry. Snake.
I was like,
I forgot to put that.
Chupacabra or something.
I'm terrible. My kid speaks more Spanish than I do. It's awful. Kokab, you talked about something too. The quietness of Damian Maia. I've been kind of surprised about it, man. Fernanda, our Brazilian reporter, was trying to book some interview time with him before this fight. Obviously, it's a big fight. Maybe a title's on the line. Title shot anyway, I should say. And I think he just wasn't really down for it. He was like, "Yeah, I'm good." What? This is a huge fight, And it was kind of weird. You and I talked to him about it, and he was like, I was like, "Was this on purpose?" And he's like, "Yeah, kind of." He's like, I don't really feel like there's anything to talk about, and I'll just save my energy for the fight. And I don't know. It's weird because I feel like, I mean, dude, he could win. I mean, I love this fight with Masvidal because it's so crazy. Like, they're both so good at what they do that, like, literally either one of them could kick the other guy's ass. You know what I mean? Like, it could be like a first-round finish either way. You know what I mean? Because one of them is so good at what the other one doesn't do. And I feel, but and Damian, I think, should be the number one contender at 170. But you got Tyron Woodley out there, basically trying to find the biggest money fight available that he can. He calls out everybody. He just throws names out there just to throw it against the wall and see what sticks. And I feel like Damian has to do a better job of, like, making sure that he is the legitimate only name that comes to people's minds. And I'm surprised. And that doesn't mean you have to talk trash. Like you were talking about, JDS and Stipe being nice guys. It doesn't mean you got to talk trash, but you got to talk something.
Yeah.
It's weird.
There's got to be a little bit of promotion. You got to.
I don't know. Maybe he's tired of just working himself up so much. He had been asking for it. And at some point, I don't know, maybe just got the point where he didn't want to be disappointed again. He seems like a humble guy, but I can see where, at some point, it would become resentment, and then there's anger towards the organization, and maybe he just feels that it's going to work itself out if he just stays focused and keeps winning, because I think we'd all like to think that is what would happen. If he keeps winning, eventually he's going to get it, and but I could see where that'd be a lot of energy. I mean, it sucks. He's never been one to really, I'm going to go out there and just talk as much crap to get it. I think he kind of tempered with it and started to do it, but I think it's not his nature. So I think if anything else, it was probably just something that was distracting him. And then at some point, if you're not winning, it doesn't matter if you could have been the best shit talker in the world. Like, even towards the end, Chael was able to get himself into these fights.
Oh yeah.
And then lost the fights, and then then it became like a joke. I think he's at the point where he just wants to let his actions do it and let it play it out, and I respect him for it. Is it hard to make a clicky video or something where everybody wants to? He's certainly not making it easy for us to do the job. You have to kind of bring it out of him, but that's not his job, So I respect it. So I guess it's sort of refreshing in the sense that you still have a fighter that's like, I'm not going to go down that route. That's so easy to go. Just like Junior. Junior's like, I'm not going to go down that route.
But look at Masvidal, man. On the flip side of that, Masvidal is like, he's like, first of all, Damian already should have had a title fight. It's ridiculous that he hasn't. Yeah. And if I beat him and I don't get one, the sport as a whole is screwed up. I love that.
But I agree. But that's a guy on the verge right there of if he doesn't. I mean, he's at the point where he's like, this sport's messed up. Like, he literally is teetering on the edge of if he doesn't. And with the win of Damian, he's not. I don't still see him getting that next title shot, even if he does win. And he's going to be freaking out. I just don't feel the momentum. He's got momentum. He's got a streak,
yeah.
He's got a streak going on, but I just don't. His name's not screaming to me like he's going to get that next nod. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do. But you can see in his face and how he's talking about this. He's thinking about that a lot. As much as he might say, "I'm only focused on this fight," he's already beyond this fight. He's already thinking like, I've already done enough to deserve it. And if he gets let down again, he's at the boiling point right now, and I think, if anything, that Maya's got to the point he's like, he realized that he was at that verge of something really going wrong with his perception of everything, and he cooled himself down, and I think that's the better way to be, because if anything else, he's going to go in more focused on this fight because he's at an evener base.
Yeah.
He's at zero. Masvidal's going in already. He's amping himself up to 5 or 6 before it's even started.
Masvidal, man, it's funny. We were kind of doing the scrum thing the other day at the media day, and a Brazilian reporter basically asked Masvidal what he thought about the way the UFC was treating Anderson Silva. Yeah, and I was like,
which at first sounded like it was
this
like,
is going to be a stupid question.
I was like,
why does it matter what Masvidal thinks about?
It was like, oh, it's a Brazilian asking about a Brazilian. It's like just every other one, but actually,
Dude,
it was
he gave
good.
a great answer.
Yeah.
He was like, you know what, this is going to take me a second to answer, but I got to say, man, I don't think it's fair the way they're treating Anderson. He's like, listen, I understand that, he didn't get the fight he wanted and you had other plans and this and that. He's like, but this is Anderson Silva, man. Like, this dude is a legend of the sport. Look at all he's accomplished. Look at all he's done for you. Like, if there's one guy you should bend over backwards for to just do what you need to do to make him happy, it's Anderson Silva. I was like,
yeah,
look at you, Masvidal.
Yeah.
Like, I like it.
I loved it. I thought it was a great answer, and he earned a lot of respect. I already had respect for it, but here's a guy that's, I want what I deserve. I want what I deserve. So it'd be wrong if he didn't say it. But yeah, I thought it was great. He was like, just give him what he wants. Like, you're in the wrong. Give him what he wants, and it was awesome to hear.
I have to say, we had Jorge in the chair earlier I think yesterday.
He faced Snake Eyes.
Yeah, he faced the Snake Eyes, and
see,
God damn
that's
it,
a
that
fighter
guy
right
is
there.
an amazing interview.
Right?
He's a
he
fan
is.
of the sport, number one, and he does have tremendous respect for so many fighters based on on this great just analysis of fighting. For that alone, and one, he's a great soundbite machine.
Yes, he is.
I respect
Gold.
him so much.
Yeah.
Has
he always been like that, or has he gotten better the last year or
better.
so?
That's what's crazy. Is it?
I feel
the
like
dude's
this
been
last
around
year or
forever.
so, like
he's been around forever. But yeah, it feels like everything's coming together. Like I don't.
he's knocking it out of the park. Every time he gets in front of a camera, he's absolutely knocking it out of the park.
And I think he used to not like it much. I think he maybe used to not like doing the media. And I think maybe he's finally, I don't know if enjoying it is the right word, but realizing that his words can be powerful.
He's realizing the vehicle of media.
Yeah.
He's understanding that this is important because honestly, he literally he kept saying well, we have more questions. Ask me as many questions as you want, because he understands what this vehicle means. And that is this is kind of where I kind of see the mistake with Maya is that. Yeah, Maya's being the soldier. Maya's being the stoic. He's trying to do what he believes he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the sport doesn't really work that way. It's just not pure math anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is.
It is entertainment.
Yeah.
Entertainment business.
You have to always add that to whatever your actual accomplishments are in the field. With, can you make us money? Can you sell the next fight? And if Maya is going to be the stoic, he's not. He will eventually. I mean, I don't know. I don't make matches.
And I love Maya, man. I love Maya.
Oh,
I mean, his skills are amazing. He's so respectful. He's so polite. He's such a professional. And I love him, man. And if he wins this fight, which he certainly can, I think he deserves a title shot. But yes, you don't have to be disrespectful, but I think you do have to speak up. And it's weird because I feel like he's been kind of slowly talking a little bit, saying yeah, I kind of feel I do deserve a title shot. And then all of a sudden, right when it mattered the most, he just kind of got quiet. And I don't understand it.
And there actually is no reason to be disrespectful. You can actually just simply say, these are my accomplishments, and just hit the point. This is about me, me. And, just do it, add some flair, add some some little, show to it. And guess what? You're doing enough where you're okay, sure, this guy's going to sell it. He's going to play the game.
That's funny. I don't think it'll ever make the light, but going back on Masvidal, Dave Mandel from Sherdog showed me this little video, and I can't know if he was before we got Jorge or not. He went up, and before he started doing the interview, he noticed that one of Masvidal's buttons was open, so he could see into his belly or something like that. And he's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, your shirt's open or whatever." And he's like, these motherfuckers, I've had it like this all day, and nobody said anything to me. Because he went on the rant about how he was kind of not anti-media or whatever. He was playing his part, but he's like, these motherfuckers. So he proceeded he's like, well, how about I just take it off? How about I just take it off and I'll just do an interview with you with my necklace. And then he sort of pantomimes taking his shirt off. So, as much as he was so focused and so serious yesterday, he was still being a fun, lighthearted self that a lot of times and that's a video clip that'll never make it out there because Dave's not going to go out there and just try to do it, even though I'm like, bro, that will fucking do some
social
funny,
clicks
great numbers or whatever. But it's stuff like that you see from fighters that even while they can in 1 second be talking a lot of trash and they're so serious, still are able to flip that switch, and then you see this funny side that you're just blown away by, and that you're just man, I wish I could show this to people.
Have you guys been watching the Embeddeds this week where all the stuff that they've shown with Stipe has been hilarious, man. You're really seeing they're not really showing anything about fight prep. They're not really showing anything about, obviously there's no trash talk or beef, so there's nothing really there. It's all him going on random shopping trips and having fun and all. It's cool when you can see that stuff. I think I guess this is an interesting study in card, because all these fights are, they're really, really good fights. They don't have that trash. They don't have the hot sauce on the pizza.
Yep.
but it's still good fights, man.
Still
I guess
good
we're
pizza.
gonna find
Pizza.
out.
It's a pepperoni pizza.
I guess we're going to find out. All right, well, listen, frosty beverages are getting a little low, so we're going to have to refresh those. Unfortunately, the bad side about being at Kenny's who's Kenny? Cold Coffee's Airbnb is that we don't have a server here to take care of it. So we're going to re-up on that. While we do that, here's what I thought, Cold Coffee. I figured, you know what? Let's play some Sergio Pettis audio. What else are we going to do with it?
Whatever.
We got a quick little interview in the can. There's not a lot to it. We 14 people in an hour. Our goal was quickness, precision, in and out, direct, no softballs, no warm-up questions to kind of get them in the mood. Just get in there and do what you got to do.
Surgeons.
So, I like what you did there. Surgeon. Sergio.
I didn't even mean to.
I don't know.
Sometimes you just fucking do it.
In fact, I don't even know how
just
if
my
it works
game
together
is
or not.
on.
But.
Well, whatever.
All right, well, listen.
I'm sure I killed the moment regardless.
You did. We're going to re-up on Frosty Beverages, and while we do that, here's Sergio Pettis, who will not be fighting at UFC 211. But, hey, why let this interview go to waste?
Sergio, you've obviously had expectations placed on you from the very beginning, but now you got this nice little win streak put together. Do you feel like maybe you're finally delivering on what everybody wanted to see out of you?
Yeah. I mean, I came in the sport at a young age, young mindset, and couldn't deal with it at the time. You know, a lot of pressure, and I believe I'm growing up and ready for these challenges. And as an adult, I want these challenges now, and I want to challenge myself. I don't want to take no easy route. Henry Cejudo, tough fight, and we'll go out there and have some fun this Saturday.
That's awesome. So it really wasn't so much the physical talent that you had to deal with. You felt like that was there. It was really just the mental approach to the game then?
I would say both. You know, physically, I didn't take it as serious. You know, I was kind of just going out there, and like I said, I was in the UFC. I was young. I was like, you know what, I made it. But now I'm older. I have goals, and I believe I can be one of the best in this division. And I'm going out there and, showing that and having fun doing it.
Very nice. Break down Henry, of course, 2 losses in a row, but, I mean, against the absolute best guys in division and a great fight last time out. So what do you see? I mean, do you feel like he's, I don't want to say past his prime, but, maybe the sport's caught up to him a little bit, or do you just feel like, do you feel like he's still one of the top guys in division?
Oh, I mean, he's still young in the sport. He's only, 30 years old, 10-2. I have more fights than the guy, but he's definitely doing good, man. He's doing what he has to do, and he's made some improvements. His last fight, he showed it. And I'm excited that he's, improving his striking. That means he's going to try to test me out a little bit, and we'll see if he can handle that test.
Why'd you want him? Because he is a tough guy. He is coming off some losses, but he's a top guy. Why did you want him?
Honestly, it was just the next thing that they gave me. So I was like, Cejudo, for sure, I'm down. And he's a tough guy, and I want to, like I said, I want to challenge myself as an athlete, as an individual, as a martial artist, and I believe this is the next step for me.
It's crazy to think, but you understand in this division, Demetrius has beat everybody, so it doesn't take much to be a #1 contender because they're always looking for that fresh blood. You beat a guy like Cejudo, I mean, do you start saying, I'm ready for that, or do you say, I still got a little bit before I'm ready for the title?
I believe I'm ready now. I'm still, working my way up to that. This is just another test Saturday to go out there and pass this test, and if they want me to fight the next guy, or if they want me to fight DJ, I'm down to do that. I think the division needs a new face, and I think I give DJ a different look than these guys.
Welcome back to the MMA Road Show. That was Sergio Pettis. Obviously, we will not be seeing him fight, but I did think it was interesting that he's, obviously he was assuming he was going to beat Henry Cejudo, but saying that, hey, a win over Henry Cejudo, maybe I'm down for the title shot. And it's kind of crazy, but it's not, definitely crazy now because it's not going to happen. But it's not crazy for him to be in that discussion, at least, if he picks up a win like that, because Demetrius Johnson, man, ripping through the division, you got to find new talent there. So
that's true.
You never know. All right, listen, couple quick news bites. I want to kind of get your guys' thoughts real quick. Dana White came out. He did a lot of interviews this week. Dana was doing some promoting, and I did see one interview where he said the FS1 prelims. They're not. They're FX prelims. Make sure everybody pays attention. But he did say he set a deadline of this week, Sunday, for Conor McGregor to get his side done, to agree to terms for this Floyd Mayweather fight. And then if we can get it done by Sunday, then he'll start working on the Floyd Mayweather side. I found this interesting. To me, we saw this past week where Dana was at the ridiculous Canelo fight, which was just incredibly one-sided. And Dana was cornered by the boxing media afterwards, who basically, as it was explained to us right here in this Airbnb last night, they basically just leave press row and run to the exits and try to corral people. It's the most ridiculous system ever. But they got him, And Dana dropped a little nugget. He said, listen, we lost our date tonight. Triple G Canelo is going to be September 16th, and that was the date we were going for. We lost it. And Dana never releases details that he doesn't want known. The guy is a master promoter, a master negotiator. Things like that don't accidentally come out of his mouth. They get said for a reason. And to me, I thought that it was a kind of a warning to Conor, not necessarily so much to Floyd, but to Conor of like, hey, see what happens when you don't work with me. See what happens when we can't come to terms. All of a sudden, things disappear, and they go away faster than you'll ever know about. So, he's setting this deadline, and I think setting that deadline right on the heels of saying, we lost our date. See what happens when you drag your feet. To me, I think it was a very purposeful thing to do. But I'll say this, because when this whole Conor Floyd thing first started getting talked about, I was like, this is so stupid. And then along the way, I've said all along, I still don't think it's a competitive fight. That said, of course I'll see it. Of course I'll see it. Of course I'll want to be there and see the spectacle that will be this fight. But now that it seems like it may evaporate, I got to be honest. I would not care one bit if this thing went away. As much as I say that, of course, I wouldn't miss it, if it goes away and it means we get Conor back to fighting, back to the UFC, I would not give two shits. I would not feel like I lost something. Like, dude, we never got to see Conor and Floyd box. Like, oh, how did we not make that happen? I'll just be like, good.
No, I think you're right. I think that Conor coming back to the UFC is the better of the two options.
I agree.
Because I think that once you start going down this rabbit hole of the boxing element, he's gonna be sucked into that for a little while, and it just means less fights for UFC fans.
I agree, and I mean, I feel bad for Conor if it means it costs him tens of millions of dollars. I mean, obviously he's already a wealthy individual, and I think he'll continue to amass wealth. But you never want a guy. I mean, that's life-changing money, and he's worked his ass off to get it. You know what I mean? So I would love for him to have that opportunity, win or lose against Floyd, but. I gotta say, man, if it doesn't happen, I really won't feel like I lost something. I really won't feel like an opportunity went by. I mean, I'd feel bad for him that he lost the big money, but I'm good. Get back, man. Get Tony Ferguson back in the mix. Get this Nate Diaz trilogy done at some point. Just get this division going again.
That's the man that wants it back is Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, I feel like.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't care. He cares.
Oh,
Of course
he cares. That third match is what he's been waiting for, and he wants this more than any of us.
I know that you can't say too much, especially because here's the thing that's weird to talk about this is like, we all have we all know a lot of people in and around the UFC, right? I mean, we all have sources. We all have friends. We all have relationships. But I feel like this particular one is so hard to really pretend like you know exactly what's happening because there's a whole nother side. You know what I mean? Like everybody in the UFC, including Conor and everything, we're in, guys. We agreed to the deal. Me, Dana, Conor, we're all on the same page. And then you still got to deal with the Floyd side, which I don't think any of us really, we don't have those boxing contacts, so we don't really know much about. So it's weird to be like, oh, yeah, I feel like we're moving in the right direction. You can be like, well, the other doesn't get, so it's hard to know exactly what's going on. So it's hard to say what's going on. But I wonder, like, is there a feel around that beautiful new office? I mean, do people talk about it? Like, because I know every interview I do, every time I do a radio spot or something like that, the radio host will talk to me about UFC 211, and they'll throw a couple questions out there, and then they'll be like, I gotta ask you, almost like, I mean, it gets brought up literally every single time. Is it water cooler talk over there at those beautiful new offices?
Just like anybody else.
Yeah.
That's things that we're dealing with a black box, like there's conversations happening outside of our purview, and there's definitely people who are interested in it. There's definitely people but when it comes down to brass tacks, it's just that. It's just we know what we know, and like you said, there's a certain point where.
What do you know?
Yeah, what do we know? The unknown unknowns. So
it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Can you verify a story? Jumping off topic. Let's put your job at risk here. Can you?
Yeah, let's play job roulette.
Job roulette. I heard a rumor that you guys had to get permission or you were not allowed to hang up pictures or posters on your walls.
Oh,
true?
that was a super old rumor. When we were actually moving to the new building, there were like guidelines, and there was this like
Everything had to be like Reebok.
well, no, yeah, no.
Yeah,
There was-
right.
it was kind of like it was like I
This
don't know.
picture brought to you by.
It was like this like misinterpretation or whatever of like, or maybe this is kind of like just original idea of like we're just gonna have this like kind of a really pristine space. But that was so early before we even moved in that like that kind of went out and said like no personal effects. And that quickly, like once people like heard that, like we're human beings, we have like a picture of my wife and this,
Yeah.
and that. And it literally lasted probably a day. And
So is it that it's just not being policed,
no, it's not.
or they just said forget it, whatever?
Yeah,
do
it
your
literally
thing.
was. It literally was like I think an idea from someone who just thought like, well, sure, let's do this, or maybe it was a misinterpretation of an idea. But either way, it lasted less than a day, and there was like the next day like no, we don't want you to think about it. You can bring your posters and this and that. If you actually walk through the office, you will realize how that is not the case because it's pretty much. There's knickknacks everywhere.
I heard that and was like, wow, they're really making it friendly there. I heard that.
Yeah, no, not the
Heard
case.
that and some other little weird ones, but whatever.
It was. I think it was like a rumor for us too, because it was before the movement even happened, and then it was quickly kiboshed by like instantly. It's like, no, we're not.
I
want
want
to
to have that picture of my dog on the wall.
Right.
Like,
My cube neighbor has just everything like fucking like LED lights and all kinds of shit all over his fucking cube. So I can guarantee you that's not the case.
Can't wait to see the grand opening next week, man. I'm excited. Dude, I'm not gonna lie,
such
dude.
an impressive building.
Dude, that facility is phenomenal. I mean, people can talk trash all they want about the UFC, and even even at the groundbreaking. I mean, I remember we asked Lorenzo about it. It was like, dude, I mean, listen, everybody's bitching about fighter pay, and you guys are building like this. Like, does this look good? I mean, so you can still have those arguments. Was this wise? Was not? But dude, put all that aside and just say like. It is beautiful, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
I need a little something too, okay? Fighters get stuff. I don't get nothing. Now I have a nice little cube space.
I like it. All right. Well, speaking of stories being confirmed that you know about and don't tell your buddies over here at MMA Junkie.
Asshole.
Dana White declaring that Bisping GSP is off. Romero's up next. I got to say, I want to ask you guys' feeling on this too because I can't even tell you how happy I am that this is the case, dude. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, cool that GSP is coming back, and I know he's a star, and I know he means pay-per-view buys, and he means success and all that. But, dude, I am so fine with this move. I mean, you announced this fight that makes no damn sense to begin with, and no disrespect to GSP, but it didn't make any damn sense that he came back and fight for the middleweight. Like, if he came back and you put him in a welterweight title fight, like, bro, sorry, Damian Maia, sorry, Masvidal, sorry, man, but GSP's back. We got to put him against Woodley right now.
Yep.
I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? This is the greatest welterweight of all time. I'm good with that, right? But to put him in a middleweight title fight never made any sense. But I was cool with it because, you know what, man? International Fight Week. It's kind of a sexy little headliner. Michael Bisping, man, he's been around the company for a decade doing what he does. He deserves the fight. Let's do this money fight for him. All right, man, we'll get it done and we'll move on. And then GSP says, whoa. I need November. I didn't say nothing about July. Now, I will say, I'm not mad at GSP because he sat there at the press conference that day and was like, I need November. And Dana at the press conference was like, I'm thinking more July. You know what I mean? It was like, so it's not like GSP lied or anything. You know what I mean? He seemed like he was pretty upfront about everything. So I'm not blaming GSP. I'm not saying that. I'm not pissed at him or anything like that. But I got to say, once he's saying, dude, I can't do it till November, move on. Move on, and I'm glad. I know we spoke with some Canadian journalists today. They were not so happy about the decision. They feel like, GSP was getting kind of hosed or whatever. But, dude, I am so fine with this decision. And, to me, I mean, I guess I feel kind of bad for Michael Bisping because I feel like GSP would be, and no disrespect to GSP, a way easier fight than Yoel Romero, dude. Like, I am sorry.
Yep.
Sorry about you, Mike, that you got to go fight Yoel Romero because that dude is a monster. I feel bad. But the other thing, the flip side of it, too, is that I kind of think maybe this clears the way for Anderson GSP. And as weird as that is, I know it'd be like 5 years too late.
Yeah.
But Mayweather-Pacquiao is 5 years too late, and people still tuned in, right? And, I mean, I think GSP-Anderson is still a fight that people want to pay attention to. And Anderson, I don't think – I mean, I don't
That
want
would
to say
be throwing Anderson a bone. He's been asking
it would
for something like that.
And I feel like Anderson doesn't need to be fighting like the top level guy. Not that he's not still relevant, not that he's not still talented, but he doesn't need to be fighting like number one contenders and title. I mean, dude, props to Anderson. We talked about last week that Anderson was like, yeah, I'll fight you well. Like, dude, okay, you know what I mean? But so anyway, I'm just saying I am good with this decision. I am happy with this decision. And I hope it leads to GSP versus Henderson.
Yeah, regardless, I want to see GSP back. I wasn't a big fan of the fight. I was glad to see GSP come back. You know, I think it brings a little bit more star power back to the company. But besides that, yeah, I mean, I'm not butt sore with the fact that that particular fight, Bisping and GSP, I don't care. I think it was kind of funny in the first place, and they do way too much now of just putting these divisions on hold to let these people moonlight for these money fights, and it cheapens the sport. It cheapens what these fighters are going out there pushing and driving for. I've said that from day one. You know, I don't like how these guys, if you're a belt holder, if you're doing all this other stuff, you need to defend the belt against the guys that were doing just like you have been doing, working to get to the belt. You know, I understand. You know, you want these guys to do it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sore about it. I just want GSP back. You know, whether for a fight or a couple fights, I just want to see him fight somebody. I don't even
but
care.
But not to put a title on hold, dude. And that
no,
middleweight
not to put a
division is
title
so
on hold,
talented
but
right
I don't
now.
care if it's a title shot. Like, it doesn't – I don't need to see GSP's first fight to be a title shot for me to be happy. I just want to see him fight. If it's just a catch-up welterweight fight, or if it's a, hey, guys, I'm trying to make the move into the middleweight, throw him a contender. Throw him something. You know, I think most number one contenders realize that if they got put the task of, hey, I've been knocking on the door, and instead of fighting the number 4 guy, I could fight GSP, a legend that's coming back into the sport, and that'd be a huge, you know, plus on anybody's record that I think would help credit them going forward. And I think it would make a lot more sense. I think a lot of people would be like, all right, you're not killing division, you know, put it on hold for somebody that might ultimately be just moonlighting for one fight in the division, and that's it. You know,
can you imagine if he did beat Mike and then was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm going back to welterweight. So here's your belt, guys. Have fun with it." Like,
and that
come on,
that could happen, and that would be terrible for the division.
Or like, you know what, man, I enjoyed this, but I realize I like my time off more, so I'm retired again. You know, like,
yeah,
what?
How bad would that be? Yeah, it's like, yeah, if you want to come back, you say you want to fight again. Well, let's see how much you're really into it. If you take that title fight out of it, you know, and but whatever. I mean, but you're right. If he was saying he wanted it later, and the UFC was pushing, you know, they should have been a little bit more in line with the whole fact of he hasn't been saying. It's not like he changed his mind. He's like, I'm ready to fight in 2 months. You know, he's like, no, I need some time. You know, so it is what it is.
Free promotion. You know, you GSP's back. Still not a bad play. You know, you got that at least a little bit of a drive for a fight that never happened, and I still like this Anderson possibility. You know, obviously
it used to
we're
be,
making matches
the
here.
next time you hear things, bro, don't forget about your boys.
Yeah.
Forget about your boys. Your job's not that important, bro.
No, yeah. Gainful employment is garbage.
You,
yeah,
we got you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, dude,
I feel like you guys are really
we'll
sore
provide
about
frosty
that.
beverages for you.
We don't have work for you, but we'll get you
You
some
provide
beer.
me Pabst Blue Ribbon. I'm a gin drinker.
Shut your mouth.
Gin drinker.
I see you drinking it right
Wow.
now, aren't you?
I can't help you with your rent. I can't help you with your utilities, but I'll make sure that you have plenty of frosty beverages. Just come
Well,
to
then
us,
you
bro.
ain't getting no information.
We're too cheap to buy it.
All right.
We're too cheap to buy for our information.
Let's talk about the card a little bit. We talked about the main event. UNA and J-Chick, Jessica Andrade. We've been around them all week. I got to say, first of all, again, I think UNA's star is rising. I think the fact that she's moving to the States now, I think that means, dude, she's going to get so many more media opportunities and endorsement opportunities and things like that. I think we've all been fans of her, like, basically from the very first time. Fun to see. I mean, Kokafi, your very first event was when for MMA Junkie, I should say, was when she won the title, right? In Dallas, as a matter of fact. We put together that fantastic video of
wow. It's come full circle.
It's crazy. It's full circle. But I feel like she's about to explode. I thought she got awesome reception today. Jessica Andrade, I'm excited for this fight because I feel like Jessica has what you want if you want to beat Joanna. You got to have that power. You got to have that aggression. You can't be scared to just run into a buzzsaw and swing back. So I love this fight, and I think there is some danger for Joanna, but I do feel like Joanna's just a cut above. Have you you guys feeling the same there, or is something about you Jessica this week kind of setting you off and going, maybe she's here for the upset?
I have to say, we've had a lot of ATT cats in the hot seat this week, and they cannot talk enough about how Joanna just metamorphosizes into like this kind of normal, like good person into a monster in the gym. And if you've ever seen her fight, you've seen that transformation.
Right.
Just at a weigh-in stare down, you've seen that transformation. And I believe she is a step above so many women right now. That it would be a huge thing for Jessica to come up above, because I don't know. I feel like Joanna is just
Cut above, dude. She's
so
she's
much,
awesome.
like on so many levels.
We have the MMA Junkie rankings. We have a women's pound for pound ranking. We haven't unveiled it because there's only 2 divisions, and we weren't sure. Now that 125 is going to be live, there's 3 divisions. I mean, technically 4, but we know what's going on at featherweight. But so these rankings have never been made public, but we keep them so that like when it does go live, we have them, and we have Joanna ranked number 1 pound for pound. I mean, Cyborg, no disrespect to her, obviously she's a beast, she's a legend. You could maybe make the argument she's the greatest ever, but we're talking about a snapshot in time right now, and I think Joanna, Cyborg isn't facing top competition. You know what I mean? She's fighting kind of little bits and pieces here and there, fights that are put together. Joanna is facing the best every time out, the tops, and she looked fantastic. I think she's the best in the world right now, and man, I do think that Jessica provides a threat, but I just think that Joanna is a cut above, and she's so fun to watch fight. And
for me, that Claudia Gadelha fight was just a revelation. Because you just saw, there was a turn where Claudia was definitely, I feel like,
setting the pace early, dominating.
And then you just saw Joanna find a third gear and just destroy. I mean,
like LeBron taking over, or Kobe, or Joe. You know what I mean? Like those just hit a different gear, and it's like, nope, no, oh, you know what?
And then
still me.
Yeah, and then for the next 3 rounds, she just destroyed Claudia, and it was like, wow. Like, I felt sorry for her being in there with Joanna, because I was like, can you imagine that? Can you imagine being ahead and then your opponent just, I don't know, miraculously
switches
rises,
gears,
and just destroys you? This
was fun.
Yeah,
I'm ready to win now.
For me, that was like a true believer moment of this girl. She's
awesome, man.
She has something else.
She's special, that's for sure. Jessica, I mean, the only thing I was saying, and I said this earlier this week, something that we're seeing this week that we don't normally see from one of Joanna's fight is Joanna, the friendship, the respect that they have. I mean, I think Joanna has respect for all of her opponents, but we're not seeing that anger. We're not seeing that I have something, I want to prove something, that I think we're not going to – I don't want to say we're going to not see as motivated Joanna in this one as opposed to past ones, but there's already something separate from this fight. There's a history between the two. It wasn't a long history.
Here's what I think you're onto something there. Here's what I have in my mind, because the first time they came together, right? I mean, we've seen, like we saw in the embedded, they've been kind of cordial to each other and that sort of thing, right? They used to have a former manager, Thiago Akamura, who still managed Andrade, was Joanna's. So they have a relationship. They trained together briefly. But at the media day, they did do a face-off, and it was very polite. It was very polite, right?
Then what happened?
It was a hug. But here's the deal. I'm anxious to watch the ceremonial weigh-ins tomorrow, because I think Joanna is going to go into the traditional, like,
crouch down low,
up in your face, crouch down low.
She'd have to get really, really low.
I know she'd have to get really low, but I think I'm interested to see. These.
Yeah.
I know it's just for show, and they make weight in the morning, so it's not like they're on edge. It's not like they're but I still enjoy the ceremonials. I enjoy the face-off. I hate the fake getting on the scale and all that stuff, but I still love the face-off. I love that moment. And to me, there's a little bit of psychology there. Like, I think that remember when Conor like Eddie Alvarez, the whole build up like was good, you know, like whatever, man. Da-da. And then at the press conference, like you could see the moment where like Conor got in his head. You're like, oh, this fight's over, dude. Like you could literally see the moment. Like I kind of feel like Joanna could have that psychological advantage. Like she could flip the switch on Jessica, because like I think right now Jessica's like comfortable and like, hey man, I'm believing myself, and like, you know, look, she's being nice to me because she loves me and she trusts me and all, and she knows that I'm gonna be a great, and she's like, yeah. And then I think Joanna, if she wants to, can flip the switch at the ceremonial weigh-ins and get in Jessica's head a little bit, and I'm hoping she does.
I will say that, I mean, obviously Jessica's a fighter, so she knows, she's expecting this. Like,
I agree.
I
don't think if it happens, I don't think it's going to shake her like it does other people. I'm kind of thinking it won't happen.
It will happen.
It might. It's
so
all
you're
possible.
saying we get a repeat of Wednesday.
There's going to be no hug on weigh-ins.
I think if any, I'm with you. I
bro.
could be wrong, but
You
yeah,
are
I think
wrong.
it's going to be more like Wednesday. But regardless, if it does happen, knowing Jessica and how tough she is, I don't think it's going to shake her. If anything else, it'll probably make it more real and give her more fire. She's certainly not going to be more afraid. It's not going to shake her. If anything else, it's going to make it real for her, because she's always been respectful.
But I think it'll give her that. It'll make her second guess a little bit, though. I won't intimidate her.
I think it'll make her more like, all right, we were friends and respect, but now I'm going to beat your ass.
Yes, fight.
You know, like, you want to take it like that now? I was just going to beat you. Now I'm going to beat your ass. You know, like, and I if I had to put money down, it wouldn't be for Jessica.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Of course.
But I think Jessica is gonna go in there with every intention, and this is gonna sound stupid, every intention to win. She's not just going in there trying to compete.
Right.
She believes that she can win, and she's gonna go in there, and it would probably do Joanna a favor if she did do that and try to do it, because if anything else, now
that's right.
It would be a favor for Jessica.
I think the aggression is gonna be against her.
She wants that. But because right now, if anything else, it's helping Joanna keeping it lighthearted, because Jessica at this point probably is like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to compete, I'm going to have fun, I hope to win, and the best woman's going to win. But if Joanna flips that switch and starts going in the really crouched low and that ink, because there's a lot of venom when she goes and looks in that eyes. She can't be like, oh, this is a person I really, really respect, and get in their eyes. It's gonna read in her eyes, so she has to sell it. If anything else, that's just going to put the fire into Jessica, and then you never know. But I just don't think it's going to happen.
That's the moment I'm looking forward to.
I actually think that for every fight, especially if two fighters actually have a cordial relationship, there has to be a demarcation point of we're fighting. I actually think about the fight between Cerrone and Henderson. I think it was back in WEC. Those two guys got along so well.
Yeah.
And they actually made a big point of the fact that they were like, yeah, you're cool, I'm cool. And to an extent that I thought like carried over too far. Yeah, way too far. And it benefits both fighters to actually have a moment where it's like, nah, motherfucker, you're my opponent. I'm going to fuck you up. The guy who does it the best is Nate Diaz. The minute you sign the contract, you're my enemy.
Yep.
And like that's the right mindset to have.
I agree.
You
don't have to have that trash talk, but at the same time, like it does need to be clear. Like, this is not a sparring session.
Right.
You know what I mean?
This
is
not
money. Friendly.
This is for my career. This is for my fucking lifestyle. You are my opponent. And I don't care if I like train with you or like you know. We are now opponents, and there definitely has to be a demarcation point. And I think the ceremonial weigh-ins is probably a good point to like say, like, hey, guess what? We're ratcheting it up. We told the public, hey, guess what? We're cool, but now we're gonna fight.
I agree.
It's funny. This is actually going to play out in next week's Tough episode, because you have Hader Hassan and Diego Lima. They're like buddies. They even actually said in the episode, like, don't pick us. They know if it had to happen, like, but we don't want it to be first. You know, let it each one go in. And actually, Cody asked Hader, like, you know, you got this? Would this be you? And he's like, oh, man, be an easy fight. And ended up scheduling the fight.
Oh, wow.
They didn't want it to be first. And I won't say, because I've been privy to some little things, but that's the next episode. It's going to be that fight. But this is the situation.
I didn't catch this week's episode.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So these are two guys that – so the whole time they're facing off in their little face-offs when they pick the fight, you know, the whole time Hader's like, bro, I love you. You know, yada, yada, yada. You know, and they were saying all these things. So here's two guys legit friends, training partners, or whatever, having to fight each other. But see, that's another one. When you say, like, at some point you got to realize, hey, we're fighting. They realize that they're going to fight, but I don't think out of something like that you won't ever see somebody flip it past a certain point. And not to say that I'm not trying to compare like Jessica and Joanna's relationships even remotely close, but I think there's still lines that can happen at some point where guys like, I know my nature, I want to do this, but this is a friend, this is somebody that I'm gonna, after this fight's over, I want to make sure that relationship is preserved. Because at some point you go.
GSP, speaking of GSP, he always had the best line about this, because there, remember there was a time where like people were like, oh, I think Fitch and Koscheck should fight each other, like people, training partners have to fight each other. Even Dana was like, I'm sick of this, training partners won't fight each other. And GSP had the greatest one, man. He was like, listen, I don't see why the public is saying this. And he was talking about Nate Marquardt at the time, if I remember correctly. He's like, I understand why people say that we should be able to fight. He's like, but how do you understand? He's like, how do you not get that if I'm fighting my friend, you might not necessarily get the best fight? And because even if it's, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, it's like, let's say I get my friend down and I'm in mount. You know what I mean? I'm trying to finish the fight. And I know to do that, like, I've got to throw a fucking elbow, like, right in their face that's going to scar them potentially for life, that's going to destroy brain cells, you know what I mean? That's going to, like, impact them forever. Like, am I going to have that veracity and that intensity to do it? He's like, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, like, that's your friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe
it's
not.
absolutely unnatural to force people into that situation. Whereas if you're tangentially, friends,
Just kind of linked together.
Yeah, like you like this person, that's fine. But I think even for fans, like they have to realize, yes, that you're probably not going to get the best, like the most craziest fight.
We are
out
humans
of a guy.
after all.
Right.
Right.
It'd be like me if me and Cole Coffey went at it. Like, I mean, it's
Oh, you
finally
guys-
two
you guys
athletes
just
as we
fucking-
are.
You would destroy
just-
each other. I mean,
We'd have a heart attack before it started. First couple steps, I'd be like, I'm done.
Tap out before the glove touch. First time ever. Like, I'm not doing that. All right, well, I'm looking forward to that. I did want to ask you guys, dude, this is one, and it sucks because I have done, like, this is a card that I think is getting a lot of attention, so I have done, like, quite a few, like, radio hits and stuff like that, and inevitably, they want you to give a prediction or whatever. Of course, that's what we're here for, right? But, dude, Frankie Edgar versus Yair Rodriguez, holy shit, am I torn on that one, man. My official pick for the stat picks, I went with Yair Rodriguez. The dude is just on fire, and he's so big, man. He's so, like, tall and rangy.
He
Like,
really
when they
is.
stood next to each other, it was like, I mean, not that Frankie's never fought somebody bigger than him. That's all he's ever done his whole life, right?
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, like, Yair is so much taller, and he uses his range, and he uses his speed. Like, I feel like his speed, maybe it's not quite Frankie's speed, but I think maybe it is, and especially it's that youthful, like, crazy speed, like all. So that said, like, dude, it's hilarious. I always say, people are like, who's your favorite fighter? Who's your favorite fighter? I'm like, dude, I don't know. I interview all these guys. I know all of them. I have relationships. I don't know if I have a favorite. Now, Junior Dos Santos played with my kid today. He's on the list now. He's definitely on the list.
He jumped way up
He's
there.
way there. But Frankie Edgar would have to be one of those guys. It's like, I mean, like, if somebody was like, I've never seen MMA, like, is there somebody I should follow? I'd be like, bro, go get the Frankie Edgar collection and watch that shit. You know what I mean? Like, dude's just an awesome dude, great fighter. You know what I mean? So I feel almost bad picking against Frankie Edgar. Like, I almost feel guilty. Like, I don't want to look him in the eyes and be like, bro, I didn't go for
He's
you,
never
man.
going to play with your kid
No,
now. Never.
by
Never
doing
gonna
that,
happen.
though, you're playing to type, though. Like, as Frankie Edgar is the perennial underdog. Like,
Right.
he's always voted against.
True.
And so the fact that he's probably, like, comfortable. If you actually said, oh, no, I pick him, he'd be like, fuck you. Like, fuck you. I'm an underdog, asshole. Don't jinx me. I'm going to go and destroy motherfuckers. But at the same time, though, I do love Yair's story. I am really anxious. I kind of like want
Another budding star, right?
Yes, like you with these kind of guys that are so like they have this trajectory. I want to see them like reach it. Which doesn't mean that I'm against Frankie. I see Frankie's the same kind of story. His story is more of that kind of like just like I'm getting back there. The perennial underdog. It's a great matchup. You have this like rising star against this like hungry veteran.
It's like, is this the moment? Like, is it a little too early for Yair? Because I definitely don't think Frankie's on the decline. It's not one of those where you're like, well,
he's not a gatekeeper.
Yeah, we're not going to be like, you know what? We'll find out if Frankie still has this. No, we're not. We're just going to find like Frankie has it. You know what I mean? He's not trying to prove anything. What we're going to find out is Yair ready for the top, for the very top. And dude, just I mean, as crazy as it sounds, to know that you have 2 championship fights on the line. We already spent a lot of time talking about Damian Maia and George Masvidal. What a fantastic fight that is. I might be as pumped for Frankie Edgar and Yair Rodriguez as I am for any fight in this card.
I mean, come on, guys. Come on.
Was that your Yair?
That was
your Yair?
After he grilled me the other day.
He did grill you. Oh, that was great. Did you see this clip?
So
we had a lunch at the new – I didn't get to go because it's my son's birthday, so I didn't get to go. But
it's the stuff of legend.
Oh, there we go.
Now there's the Yair. Hey, Yair, thanks for stopping by, bro. Appreciate that, man.
See you. Good luck this weekend.
It's kind of late, man. You got to be on the scales in a few hours, bro. Go and get some sleep. Thanks, bro.
Stop drinking beer.
But it was funny. Like, I mean, Cole Coffey just gives him like the setup question. Like, it's one of those ones where you're like trying to set it on a tee. Like, kind of like when I asked Vitor Belfort about TRT, just trying to set it on a tee, and he's like, "I'm gonna kick your ass." I shouldn't even bring that up. We're buddies now, dude. He's so cool.
He still wants to kill you.
He wants to kill me. He's like, I can't wait till I don't work for the UFC anymore so I can kill you. No. He's like, Cole Coffey just tries to get him like the setup. He's like, man, Frankie, like, do you think you can knock him out? Like, people, he got pissed at you, dude. He was like,
I literally felt like he was yelling at me.
He was like, come on, man. I'm not trying to say this is a stupid question, but this is a stupid question. He's like, what? Like he has something special in his chin? Like he's not made of...
His brain is made of iron or something?
It was so great,
It was awesome. I mean, I've always liked the guy regardless, but like it was like by the end, and I couldn't control myself, and I wondered how it looked because as like a journalist trying to get a soundbite, but also just trying to like, I'm so used to still like, I want them to look as good as they can, say as good as they can. So I'll throw them a softball. I'm like, here you go, bro. Say about how you're just going to destroy this dude. But he took it like sort of personal and was just like, what? I've never been knocked out until I was knocked out. Like, why is he so special? I mean, and just starts looking with these eyeballs at every media person that was in there. But I felt like I was starting to yell, and then in my head, I'm like cataloging everything he's saying. I'm like, wow, this is good. This is getting better. Then I started to smile, and I couldn't help, but I started smiling.
Like, are you smirking at me?
And I think it drove him even more. Then, so by the end, he's just like,
it's funny.
Come on, guys.
You find me funny? You find me funny like a clown?
I'm going to stab you. But it was incredible, and he went on later on after and said something to Okamoto. Brett was like, I felt like I got scolded. I was like, I know, but wasn't it great? So Yair's been on fire, man. He is so focused and so sharp. And you're right. Nothing against Frankie. It's not like we're like, oh, we've moved on, Frankie. We're on Team Yair. But it's the kid has dialed it so good together. When you look at the size difference, it's hard to. I mean, as much as talent, and Frankie definitely isn't dwindling by any means. He's still as tough as nails. Dude just does not get finished.
Right.
But you got this guy coming in with so much size and so much focus, and he's just at some point, just like Yair said, that you've never been knocked out until that first time. Until you do get knocked out.
You talk about that size. Like Yair's size is like that John Jones size. Because he uses spinning attacks and crazy angles. Yeah. So it's not like he's like, well, he has a long reach in the pocket.
And then you see it every once in a while. It's like you constantly
he's
see it.
He's attacking you from halfway across the cage because he's rolling at you and spinning at you. But it's Frankie Edgar.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped for this fight.
Yeah,
I am so pumped for this fight.
Great.
I do want to say David Branch versus Krzysztof Jotko was the fight that got elevated to the main card. Not a lot of people talk about this fight. I wanted to try to talk to David Branch this week. His first post-World Series of Fighting fight. I guess I can say his manager, Ali Abdelaziz, actually, we had been in conversation, told me that David Branch was actually pulled from this card briefly with a medical issue. And it turned out to be a doctor misread an exam. And I wanted to talk to David about this and kind of find out. I'm curious. I mean, for a couple of days at least, he was off this card. And it never got made public and it never got talked about. But I'm kind of interested. Like, did that affect his preparation? Did it affect his mindset? He's coming back to the UFC. I don't know. I'm anxious to see how that one plays out. Eddie Alvarez versus Dustin Poirier. Just sick fight there. On the FX prelims, that's insane that that's a prelim fight. I'm anxious for this fight. This is another big fight at lightweight. Eddie Alvarez looking to recover from that loss to Conor McGregor. Dustin Poirier actually coming off a win over Jim Miller, but that was kind of a battle, and that was back in February. That was not that long ago. That scares me a little bit, man. But this is a big one. I love this fight, too, because this is a prelim fight that's not only two very recognizable names, but real stakes in division. They're both meaningful. And Dustin, for all of his victories, every time he gets right where he wants to be, he comes up a little bit short. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is such a big fight for both guys. Eddie trying to rebound and bounce back from that, devastating loss to Conor McGregor. Dustin trying to prove that he literally is, an elite level fighter. Beating a former champion would do that. I love this fight, dude.
It's a great fight. And these guys, both of them are very impressive. Talked to actually both of them in the hot seat today, and Dustin seemed really, really calm, really cool.
Right.
And I don't know. I can't say too much about these guys. I am surprised that it's a prelim fight, though.
I know, right? It's crazy. It is funny, too, because – and I know that, the UFC is trying to hook up their broadcast partners, like, let's give you a good fight. Because I know a lot of people said, well, hold on, man. You lost Cejudo and Pettis. Why wouldn't you elevate Alvarez and Poirier? Instead, they went with Branch and Jocko. Like, no disrespect to those guys, but – Branch and Jocko, for as talented as they are, they're not the names that Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier are. So I saw a lot of people saying, why wouldn't you put that on the pay-per-view? But, they had that commitment to their broadcast partners at FX. Let's give you that. So I'm good with that. I love that fight. I love this fight, too. Jason Knight versus Chaz Skelly. God damn, I love this fight. We didn't get to talk. This is the first Jason Knight fight that we haven't talked to our boy in forever.
Yeah.
I love him, dude. He is fantastic. And then Chaz Skelly is a guy that's coming into his own with his own little trash talk as well. And honestly, we've become Jason Knight fans, man.
Yep.
That dude is just fun, man. I like him and his team. The crew that rolls with him is awesome.
Team is very, very funny. I mean, the dude, what was it? It was after his fight. Where were we? Was that we had like the beers in the club?
Oh, that narrows it down.
I know, that was stupid. Was it Melbourne? Where was the last time that he fought?
It had to be Melbourne.
I want to say it was Melbourne, but yeah, it was like he was in the club afterwards, and the team was just so cordial and so funny, and it was just like he seemed so out of place.
It was Melbourne because we missed his last fight. Me and you weren't there for his last fight, which was in Chicago, I think.
Okay.
But Melbourne was.
But yeah, I just remember like the team because he had this one. I think one of his corner guys in there had like the plaid cutoff shirt. Not that we ever look like we're in a place, in the right place in a lot of these clubs. But it was like a. It was
Should
like a
we
nice
tell people
bar.
that as we're recording this right now, you're sitting there in a wife beater?
Well, yeah, I'm surprised you guys haven't said anything already. But
I'm so used to it, I didn't say anything. But since you brought it up, I figured we might as well share it with the world.
We're gonna critique clothes, and we might as well, Dude, I'm the original. I'm the third Hick Diaz right here. What? But no, he's just funny, and then like I remember I loved it because he had fought, and then it was just like hanging out in the bar, having drinks and having beers and just talking stuff. And it's like every interview we've done with him, he's always just been open and just funny, and just focused. And with that accent, man, I just fucking pull for it, man. Like,
it's the best.
Then coming to Texas now and hearing all the accents under, I don't know, maybe I pull for subconsciously fighters with accents because it's just different. But no, man, that should be a really, really fun fight. And
Skelly is a little bit underrated. The only guys he's lost
it could go
to,
either way.
He's lost to Darren Elkins, Mirsad Bektic. Both those guys are beasts. So yeah, man, I'm loving that. That's we didn't even get to talk to those guys.
It sucks that
we didn't book any extra interviews this week like we normally do.
Yeah,
because
or we would have definitely.
We would have, and normally we do some sit downs, we do some extras. We didn't because obviously I had my family and I guess I was being a little bit selfish.
And I took the red eye. Well, I
took the red eye.
I took the red trying to save some dollars.
We were trying to save some money, but we didn't book the extra time either because, like, basically I knew that I needed to see my mom and dad, and I needed to spend time with my family. So.
And it's funny because speaking of your mom, If you watch the video,
Careful.
well, actually, you didn't watch the one. If you
I
watch,
thought
if
that
you,
was a setup.
I'm not saying my special video I have
Oh,
of your mom. But you'll
Hey!
see if you see some of the video where you see Junior playing with Eli, John's son, and doing the little boxing thing, that right at the end moment when Junior stands up to like start walking away, you see your mom push this shirt out to get a signature because she was like in the media area, and I love it because she's so on it, no shame, was just like, oh hey, by the way, sign this thing, and it was incredible. So if you want to see mom or John's mom just like sort of like doing what no media is really ever supposed to do from a media area, I loved it though.
She has no shame.
She
Yeah.
has no shame, but
She
she
has no
is
shame.
a character. But she's also the one that she made sure when it came around to your birthday, she hit me up, sent me a message on Facebook or something, was like, make sure you buy John a drink for me. I was like, there you go. Good
That's a
job,
good mom right
my
there.
mom's never fucking texted anybody to say, buy my son a drink. So come on, Mom.
That's what's up.
Step it up.
That's what's up.
You shit on your stepfather last one, or when we were back in Vegas.
Yeah.
Now you're shitting on your mom.
Did I shit on him? Oh,
Yeah.
I probably did.
Love
Yeah.
you, fam.
Yeah.
Love you. Love y'all.
Love you, fam. All right, listen real quick. James Vick, we talked to him last week, fighting against Marco Polo Reyes. I'm excited for that fight. That could be fun. And then you get to got 4 fights on Fight Pass. It's gonna be a full 9 fights. Not 14 fights, 13. It was supposed to be 14. We lost one. We had 13. So I love this card, top to bottom. It really is good. Rashad Coulter. I should say we were over at Fortis MMA earlier.
Yeah. That's a big
Fortis
dude.
Beautiful, beautiful facility. And Rashad Coulter, who
Yeah.
is, big dude. He's lost his job, lost his day job, but got to call up to the UFC like a week later. You know what I mean? So the Lord works in mysterious ways.
I like how you got all
He
like
takes your job
quiet.
away.
No.
Yeah, I know. It just sounded like such a cheasy line. I figured I'd throw it out there.
But I like how you delivered it like that. It was like subtle and just like.
All right. So before we head out, because obviously we got some editing to do.
No, man.
You do.
I'm just gonna
This
keep
podcast
sitting.
might not-
I'm just
this
gonna keep
podcast
sitting
might
here in my
not
fucking
ever-
wife beater.
Might
Drink
not
some
ever see
motherfucking
the light of
PBR.
day. As tired as Cool Coffee is. I did. I don't know that we'll
You
do a,
busted me on my wife beater. By the way, when
I
you were in
heard.
the
No, I heard
bathroom.
from the bathroom.
Okay.
Can't
Hey,
believe we
his
don't.
voice carries.
Not quite like yours, but
No.
it's there. I don't know that we'll do a full conspiracy corner this week because we're kind of putting you on the spot.
Oh yeah.
But
we might run into the 4-hour segment if we do it.
But being in Dallas as we are, I believe you, the conspiracy captain of the world, did kind of make your way over to the JFK assassination site. Certainly not the greatest thing Dallas should be known for is
Right, yeah.
murdering presidents.
Regicide.
yeah.
Regicide.
But it is a big part of American history and certainly Dallas history. Did you take anything from your experience over there at Dealey Plaza?
I did. It was kind of a pilgrimage for anyone that actually appreciates conspiracies in America. You have to make a visit to that site because I feel like that really was the birth. Now, I had a friend on Facebook that actually said that there is a conspiracy that Booth was killed in the barn before blah blah blah. So
They're like he wasn't even there.
right. So there's apparently a conspiracy that
So do you think that was ground? Well, I hate using the term ground zero. That's bad.
well that's
But you kind of touched on it there before you go. Do you think that was like the first? Were you suggesting
I
that's
feel
kind
like
of the birth of the conspiracy theory?
modern conspiracy theory, I think, in America was born
Started
that
there.
day.
Okay. Carry on.
Because and I think even like contemporaneously, when you see the 9/11 issue, like with 9/11 conspiracy stuff, how that evolved.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a set of facts the day of, and then it steadily became like there was doubt, and I can easily see how that happened with JFK. So yeah, I felt it was a fun, well, not fun, but a very illuminating experience going down there. I actually, because there are X's on the road that's Elm Street that goes down under the overpass, and there are 2 X's actually printed on the road. I thought those were put on there for historical reference.
They are not. They are not. They are local people such as yourself who like to, historians, documentarians, and conspiracy theorists alike who put those X's down. And they used to, from my understanding, is they used to try to take them up, the authorities were. They just show right back up. So they're like, just fuck it. I guess.
Which I love. I actually absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And there actually is. I took a picture on my.
And the X, when I was a kid, there was only one X. Now you told me this, so you actually informed me. There's two X's now because
are two.
the one X that was always there from the time I remember when I was a kid is the one X is basically supposed to mark essentially the point of impact, where JFK was at the point of impact.
Right. And I don't remember it. This is where I'm bad on this. Is that were there
second one is
were there
just
two
like an X.
shots? I thought there was one shot that hit his head.
Well, I guess that depends what theory you
But then
believe.
there's actually the magic bullet.
Right.
So maybe there were two
Oh,
shots.
no. Yes, because even if you believe the documented facts, so to speak, he did get off multiple shots.
Yeah. So there's the first
Three
shot.
maybe even. But two
Well,
landed. I think.
Yeah. There's only two markers. And at the second marker, there was this. Apparently, he's a legend in Dallas conspiracy theory because this guy has staked his claim right at this spot, and he basically anyone that comes, he tells you the truth, and he has pictures, and he has not a booth, but he's a table, a little pull-out table.
He's got some materials to sell you.
He wasn't trying to sell anything. Actually,
No?
he was just trying to sell the truth.
Oh, look what you did there.
Yeah, exactly. And it marks the trajectory of the bullets, and he's the claims of this is where these bullets came from. So obviously, if he hits in the back of the head, he just moves forward.
Right.
Blah blah blah. But it was. I felt I had to make it. I've actually been to Dallas, I think, twice now, and I've never been there. And so this time, I'm like, luckily, the UFC was actually, the host hotel was in the city, and the walk was just 20
Yeah,
minutes.
because we've always been at the Anatole before, which is you got to get in a cab or
Right.
an Uber or whatever.
And usually when I get off work, it's so late that it's not really, you're never going to see anything.
Right.
But this time, it was I got off at, 6?
Still daylight
yeah,
outside.
still daylight. You're getting to dusk, and I'm I'm making this fucking. I'm running. I'm
So
not.
did you reach any conclusions?
Absolutely not. I will admit, for someone who is actually that loves weird, strange shit, the JFK assassination conspiracy has never ever resonated with me. I just kind of I stick with the conclusions, I guess the rational conclusions, which sounds stupid because I believe so in many
If
irrational
Cicada
things.
posted a post about
If Cicada 3301 basically said that JFK was a conspiracy, I would believe it 100%, and I would change my mindset. But because they haven't yet, I'm still kind
it
of
was the JFK Bears or the JFK Bears.
right.
Don't be sure. All right. Well, listen. That's gonna do it for us this evening. I see my producer over there and his wife beater falling asleep.
Just his furrowed brow.
I was looking at pictures of the spot, the Kennedy thing, and I'm looking at this old picture. There's only one X.
That's what I'm saying. When I was
Oh.
a kid.
Only one X.
It's the Berenstain Bears.
Wait,
We
did
live
you
in
grow
a
up-
2X world, people. Alternate universes.
They're gonna get me kicked out of this place. But you're right. I agree with the Berenstain Bears thing.
The
I bet it was.
Bears.
No.
I like it.
Was it Bears or
I'm
Beers?
a big fan
that
of
you
the
remember?
Berenstein Beers.
But yeah, I mean, according to these pictures, and this is Wiki, which means it does not
Oh, it's
lie.
totally true.
Yeah, I mean, they fact check everything.
Yeah.
But one of the pictures that only shows a spot.
Wait, you didn't believe me? You had
No, I believe you. I'm just saying.
I don't believe you.
But there was somebody else the other day arguing that he always remembered too. And
Oh,
this was
yeah,
another
yeah, yeah.
long time Dallas.
That is
person.
true. Somebody was arguing.
Somebody
with me
was
the
saying
other
that they remember
I
two
will say,
spots.
let me see this
They're
picture.
liars.
Let me see this picture.
Filthy liars.
Is it the full
And
road?
inaccurate.
Because one is much closer to the book
I'd have to
depository.
go.
See, that
There's one, but this
No.
is the one I was looking at.
that is actually where I took my picture, and there's a one further down, about 50 feet from that first X.
Scintillating radio right now as we point out something visually.
yeah.
This is 2008 when this picture was taken. 2008.
Oh, great. So we're talking about a 9-year-old.
This other picture that's on this site here is further down the street. So if you look at this picture, that
no,
one's
that's
closer.
not even close.
No, this isn't the other one. So look at this one by
Yeah.
the light lamp.
I'm looking
and then
at
look at this
a
one.
Everybody
picture of
that's
the book
listening,
depository.
Make sure you're looking
and
at this.
he's referring to a picture.
It's actually a picture of my penis.
It is. And it has a bunch of X's on it for some strange reason.
I got your book depository
your
right here.
You get your book
Conspiracy
suppository right behind
Corner
it.
officially died today.
And this is the last edition of the MMA Roadshow ever. All right, listen. Hey, UFC 211. It's going to be dope in the morning. Just a couple hours. It's not even the morning. Just a couple of hours from now will be the official weigh-ins. We got you covered, MMA Junkie. So at whatever volume you chose to take in this particular podcast.
11!
Thanks for listening.